Hello and welcome to today's reading. So today we are looking into the true feelings and intentions and what the next move of your specific person or just of someone you have in mind may be. And I will just give you a few moments to focus and choose the group that you feel drawn to. And then let's meet at your group and explore. Hello to those who chose group number 1. So we have the first position of the cards, which is about their true feelings. And we have the cards Llamas, Hero or Heroine, King of Roses, and the Sun. So if we take a look at the card Llamas, this is the energy of harvest and gratitude and fruition. So emotionally, this person feels they've come like full circle with you. And there is a sense of recognition. So there is a sense of harvest. So you have built something together. This may be a relationship that has been growing and developing for quite some time. And they also quietly appreciate you. But Llamas also implies sacrifice. Perhaps they feel they've given much to this bond or that their effort needs to be acknowledged. So they are proud and cautious. So they're aware of what's been invested and they want to honor it, but they may fear to lose themselves in this relationship. Llamas is also known as Lunasa. This is the celebration of the first harvest. This is like a sacred time. They gather the fruits of the labor, and there is thanks given for what has grown. So what this means in the context of their heart, it's a person who feels that something meaningful has ripened between you. So this is a connection that is not in its early stages. It has matured. It has taken shape. And also they are aware of the true potential. So there is a certain gratitude here for this harvest, for what they have invested and what they have already harvested from you. But they are reflective. They are pausing to look, and they are also aware of the losses. Perhaps they are thinking about the memories and lessons. So they've learned a lot of lessons with you and this connection. But they are also aware that it took a certain effort. So this is a moment of humility. So it's about recognizing that in order to sustain love, one must give something up, and they may feel they've made sacrifices, perhaps in time or in emotional vulnerability, or perhaps they revealed certain parts of themselves that they have never shown to anyone else. So this is a very mature attitude in a way. But it's also about cycles. It's also about, on one way, harvesting, and on the other way, resting. So they have deep feelings. You are someone who has become part of their life rhythm. You're not just someone who is passing by, but they are cautious also, because after harvest, the fields need to rest. So now they may be guarding their energy. Perhaps they're afraid to give more. Perhaps they're afraid they will lose themselves. But still, they understand that this is a very significant bond and that it has brought a lot into their life. And then with this archetype of hero or heroine, this is again suggesting that they feel that you are an inspiring element in their life. This connection is larger than life. They have very passionate, even idealistic feelings, and in a way, it takes a lot for them to invest into this relationship. So you awaken a sense of purpose in them and also strength. So it may mean that this relationship has gone through many challenges and they have become a true hero. And also, it means that they are in a way admiring you and feel you as someone very strong and very powerful in their life. But then sometimes they may ask themselves whether they are capable to live up to this ideal. As with this King of Roses that we see here, this is like a very mature and emotionally open man, a very romantic man. It's not necessarily a man. It's not very important. It may represent a woman as well, but it represents a male energy. So it's a leader energy. So there is a lot of tenderness and devotion towards you, even though they may not fully express it. So they care deeply about you. Their feelings are strong, deeply rooted, but also mingled with fear and with this sense of having to overcome many challenges and obstacles with you. And they are aware that they are gaining a lot from this relationship. But on the other hand, they may feel trapped by it or afraid to give more, afraid to lose themselves, to become too entangled. But then with this beautiful Sun card, there is a lot of warmth and very joyful feeling towards you. So you bring light into their world, and you may really clarify and open new feelings for them. The Sun is also about destiny. This is where we evolve to. So you are awakening their inner sun, and they also want to be very authentic and transparent with you. So this shows a very genuine, very, very clear feelings for you. But still, there is this shadow of overcoming the battles and challenges. So in a way, they feel your relationship has certain challenges to overcome. And in some way, they also want to prove themselves to you. So at their core, the heart is very open and deeply touched by you. And they see you as someone who inspires them and to rise higher. And there is a lot of emotional depth and maturity towards you. Also, there is a lot of gratitude towards you. So it's a very meaningful, even like a fated connection with you. But still, there is this journey of learning how to overcome the challenges and to balance their passion with humility and reality. So they are aware that the love they have also brings certain cycles of rest and perhaps even withdrawal. So they may have very strong feelings, and they do have very strong and mature feelings, but still they may have these fears of how to cope with the challenges that a real relationship with a real human being brings. And then we have the second position, which is about their intentions. And we have the cards Mother of Water, the Gossip archetype, Fated Meeting, and the card of Leo. So the Mother of Water, which is in fact Queen of Cups, goes very well together with the King of Roses that we had in the first position. So their intention is to approach this with a lot of emotional empathy and we see this woman being bathed in rain. So they want to nurture this connection and perhaps open up more emotionally, to listen more, to show you that they care, because this spread, especially their feelings, it shows deep feelings, but an aspect of hiding or not being so open and allowing the feelings to stay in the shadow, especially with that Lama's card in the first position. So they feel very much vulnerable. So they're testing the waters. They are going through the situation very intuitively. So it's very important for them to feel safe. And they do want to heal this connection, because this connection has been wounded. The Lama's card, in fact, that we had in the first position is the devil in the traditional tarot deck, even though here it is represented with a different twist, but still it carries certain wounds and certain darkness with it. This aspect of the shadow that this person is confronting in this relationship with you. So their intention is to heal their heart and to allow these waters of emotions to open again, to stop hiding, to be more transparent. Especially with that card of the fated meeting that we have, again suggesting that they feel deeply, deeply connected with you. Like this connection with you has brought some deep learning into their life, and it is profoundly changing their life. It's like fate bringing you together. But we have this gossip archetype here, which is about trust. So this may, at the highest vibration, mean that they want to communicate with integrity. So perhaps they have wounded you with words, or there were some issues with other people talking about you or other people meddling into your relationship. Perhaps you were the target of gossip, literally. And they want to be now more mindful of what they say to you and about you. It seems there were outside influences interfering in these relationships, or perhaps there were things that were said impulsively, and now they want to make amends and be more empathic and more honest. So they intend to approach you with sincerity and to clear the air. And also they want to clear perhaps any stories or assumptions that may have built up between you, or maybe they have been built up by other people. This is about words. So words can connect or divide. And with this Queen of Cups that is next to the gossip card, we see the intention to communicate from the heart and to heal the wounds that were made by perhaps some information or by betraying confidences. Perhaps one of you or both of you were betraying each other by saying things that were not supposed to be said or shared with other people. So this is about revealing what was supposed to be kept hidden. And also, again, they may have lost control about who knows what about you or about both of you. So perhaps some information were leaking, and there were influences coming from others, perhaps literal gossip, social pressure, perhaps third-party opinions that have shaped their behavior. Perhaps they were influenced too much by other people, and now their intention is to distance themselves from these dynamics and to reclaim their own voice. Perhaps they are literally a person who talks a lot, or who talks with a lot of people, who meets a lot of people, and this is hurting your relationship. So now they want to be someone that you can trust again, and whose words can be honored. And then we have, of course, this fated meeting card. So definitely they do not want to walk away from this connection, quite the opposite. They believe this meeting was destined, and they feel pulled together towards you to continue this story. So if you have been apart, they are preparing to reach out and to bring back together your union. So they feel we are not done yet. So they feel they need to lead and to walk through this thread of fate. This is a fated union for them, and they need to see it through and see where it leads. And then we have this Leo card, which is a lot about pride. And it's also a very loving card. Leo is the ruler of the heart, so they want to express love in a bold way. So they may act with confidence. They may come as with a roar like a Leo, or they want to appear strong, or make grand gestures. Also, in connection with that gossip card, they need to take back emotional leadership. So they need to be in the leading position. This may also mean that they want to have a certain kind of dominating position in your relationship. So they want to prove their love. They want to show themselves as a strong person, as someone who can step forward, who is warm and clear and worthy of love. So there is the need in them to prove themselves to you, because they have lost your trust. Something has been broken in your relationship, despite their deep feelings and this destined union feeling that they have towards you. They have put some kind of shadow over your connection, probably through third-party people, through gossip, through opinions of others, or perhaps connecting too much socially with other people. And now they intend to show that they are their own ruler and that they can be emotionally integrated, and that they can be a leader. Even though when trying to do so, they may come and they may show up as a little aggressive or perhaps too determined. So they definitely want to prove themselves to you. They definitely want to continue this path with you, because they are just hooked. This is a fated union for them. And they cannot walk away, even if they wanted to. So now let's take a look at the third position, which shows their next move and also the outcome of the situation. And we have the following cards: Two of Fire, the Beggar archetype, Four of Forces, Spring, Autumn, and Vesta. So Two of Fire, which is in fact Two of Wands, shows in this deck the power and the will of communication, because it represents Mercury. This is this sacred figure standing before a flame or an altar and holding two burning torches. And this image represents the moment when intention turns into direction. So this is the passage from inner vision to outer action. So this is this divine spark of Mercury. This is the messenger He was the God who carried words and will between gods and humans. And here, fire becomes thought that is visible, tangible. This is the energy that seeks to express, to connect, and to create understanding. So this card represents the importance of communication. So the next move this person will make involves expressing something that they have been perhaps waiting to express or say for quite some time. And so now it's time that they give way to clarity instead of silence. So spiritually, this card tells us that love's flame must be directed by conscious communication. Without communication, love cannot thrive. So what was held within must now be spoken, and all misunderstandings have to be brought to light. So this is about not withholding anymore. And so this person perhaps is wrestling now with how to express themselves clearly, and perhaps even they fear how to say, so what they say will come out right. And then we have this beggar archetype card, which is all about humility, and also, of course, it's about physical survival. And this awakens a lot of questioning of self-esteem, and it may show a certain dependency on others for emotional support. So in the bright light, on the bright side, their next move will likely come from a place of emotional honesty. So they are learning the difference between needing love and offering love, and perhaps they will approach you in a very vulnerable way. It may come from genuine humility and awareness of their lack. Perhaps they will apologize, perhaps they will admit their vulnerability. There will be perhaps more authentic in their desire to reconnect, perhaps dropping their pride. So there is this need to be emotionally truthful and honest. And also, of course, it may mean that they will beg, or that they are begging for your love and affection. Maybe they have been starved of affection and love in their life in overall. So this has made them very weak and vulnerable, and this is the place that they're coming to you from. And this may stir some reactions in you, but try to see it as reaching out from honesty, and it's their kind of admitting how weak and powerless they sometimes feel, and how much they crave love and affection. And then we have the Four of Forces, Spring, Autumn, from Akashic Tarot. And this represents natural cycles and balance. So we have the spring and its renewal, and then we have the autumn with the harvest. So this show the cycle of growth with spring, and the cycle of maturity with the harvest that comes in autumn. So this may show that they are changing. Their energy can be in an endless cycle of change. Perhaps they create distance, or even coldness or silence, and then they move into the spring phase, and they show renewal and warmth and expression. So now what is happening is you may feel the change of increased communication and effort. So they are either going into the spring level, so trying to grow and make more effort, or they are going into the autumn level, which is about harvesting their efforts. So there is a kind of natural rhythm of healing in their actions. So also it may mean that they will wait for the right moment. So the seasons come when they come. We cannot force them. So you cannot force their action. So they are waiting for the right moment to reconnect and to find mutual understanding. And then we have this beautiful Vesta card, which is the keeper of the flame, and it represents devotion and inner light, and it's a very spiritual kind of energy. This is about a steady and pure fire, which symbolizes commitment. So their heart is aligning with devotion. So they will try to protect what is meaningful and create this lasting warmth between you two. So we can, in fact, say that they are entering the spring phase, the warmth phase, because of Vesta, who symbolizes fire, ever-burning flame. So they are trying to hold this connection between you two. And even if sometimes this connection is dimmed, it is in fact never extinguished. And their next move will reflect this desire to keep this flame alive with respect. And so they are in a kind of a turning point where their passion is becoming more purposeful, and they're becoming more internally steady, not so impulsive, but more devoted, finding their constant light, and of course reaching out to you from this place of inner steadiness. And then I pulled 3 more cards, just like a guidance for you. So how you should respond to this situation and what your spirit wants you to know. And we have 9 of Cups, King of Cups, and the Sun. So the 9 of Cups is a beautiful card of emotional fulfillment. So it's saying that what you desire is already growing, it's already coming. So inner satisfaction is there. And also it says that your happiness doesn't really depend on their next move. It depends on your willingness to receive joy. So you are learning how to be more joyful and more emotionally fulfilled in this connection. So the guidance for you is to allow yourself to feel emotionally fulfilled and also to receive joy. Perhaps you have had issues with receiving emotional fulfillment. This is something perhaps that you need to learn, to be open to emotional joy and to receive it fully. And you can be sure that emotional satisfaction is on your way. It's also saying that you've done all the emotional work that you needed, and now it's time to just celebrate yourself and let go of worry and waiting and just enjoy what you've already cultivated. So it's more about being grateful for what you have, and this will allow love to flow towards you. So it's time for you to enter in more like an effortless phase, like being like water that goes with its course. So don't push the river, but just be more content and grateful with what you have, because you have already a lot and you have already grown and cultivated so much. So it's time for you to be content. And then we have this King of Cups, which in fact beautifully mirrors this emotional mastery. So you have a very deep empathy and sensitivity, which is your strength. and not your weakness. So you have to be wise with feelings. This is being a leader in emotions, not being weak, but being a leader. So hold your feelings, integrate your feelings, be wise with your feelings. So don't suppress emotions, but also don't drown in your emotions. Don't allow, especially lower vibration emotions, to hold such a tight grip on you, like fear or fear of loss or possessiveness or jealousy or comparison. No, be aware of your strength and know that you have come a long way and you have emotionally matured, and this will also be reflected in the outside world and in this relationship. So the guidance for you is to respond with wisdom and not reaction. So this whole reading is about both of you becoming emotionally mature, not to react, not to prove yourselves, but to be calm and wise. So to be in touch with the love that you both have for each other, but still be centered. So it's a similar guidance for you as it is for this person. Don't let your emotional center to fall apart. Don't depend too much on this person's reactions, but lead with confidence. Be aware of what you have already learned and the wisdom that you already possess. And beautifully, we have again the Sun card as your message also. So this is also saying that you are also stepping into a new level of clarity and joy, and Sun confirms that everything that you've been through is leading you towards clarity. So all this confusion and emotional intensity and darkness and demons that you've been both fighting is in fact leading you closer to yourself and also closer to joy and happiness. So you need to stand in your own light. You need to be your own light. This is also about a certain kind of being, not being too dependent on the emotional upheavals or emotional waves, emotional whatever disturbances are happening on the outside. Sun shines from its own center, and this is the message for you. Be your own light, but at the same time, the sun brings this reassurance that love and happiness are returning because you are becoming more authentic. And this other person is learning that as well. So you are in fact entering into a very joyful and happy and fulfilling phase in your life. Also, the Sun card is saying that don't chase, just shine. Just be in your own truth. And then people and love and outside opportunities will align with you. Because the Sun energy isn't chasing anyone. It is just being, and it is enjoying life. So develop your own worth, your own warmth, your own love. This is the lesson about your own love towards yourself and towards the other. So Spirit wants you to know that you are entering a phase of emotional fulfillment, of emotional mastery. This is the King of Cups, and also into a more authentic life. So you have already done the hard part, and now you need to allow yourself to feel good again and to trust life, and also to trust that what it's meant for you will come naturally and be attracted to your light. So it's a very beautiful reading. Enjoy it. Enjoy the fulfilling phase that is coming, and shine and I wish you good luck. And hello to those who chose group number 2. So let's take a look at the first position, which is about their true feelings. So what is in their heart? And we have the wisdom card, which is in fact the high priestess, the mentor card, 7 of keys, the ascent, and the 8th house. So if we take a look at the high priestess or the wisdom card, we can say that at the level of the heart, this person feels a very deep bond, a very mysterious bond with you. It's not logical, and it may not even be expressed in words. So this is about hidden things. And so the connection they feel may be very spiritual and very deep, but they may not express it openly. So this may be someone who doesn't talk about their feelings. Instead, they may feel you or even dream about you, and they can be very intuitively attuned to you. So they have very profound but very quiet feelings for you. And also, they may sense that you are a very strong person. You have a deep influence on them. And there is this moon or light above the figure's head. This shows this inner illumination. So they are illuminated by you. You are awakening some deep feelings and deep secrets even in them. Perhaps something that they don't even understand fully. So it's a very private heart and very reflective heart they have. And also we see this dark moon hanging over their head. It shows that you're constantly in their mind. So this is like hanging in their 7th chakra or in their mental body. So you're constantly present. And since the moon or this sphere or whatever this represents is dark, they are not clear about what they think or what they should think. You're like this hanging presence constantly there in their mental body. And then we have the archetype cards of a mentor. That's very interesting. This can mean that perhaps they truly are a mentor to you or you to them. Perhaps this is a connection where there is maybe an age difference, because we see these 2 figures of an older man and younger woman. So perhaps there is a certain kind of teaching relationship between you two, perhaps indeed a teacher and a student. And perhaps this is why they have to keep their feelings hidden. This may be one possible way of looking at the situation. But if we go into this more on a symbolic level, you are someone who has taught them something essential. And you are guiding them. They are growing through you. And there is a certain kind of mutual learning between you two. So it's a very transformative kind of relationship. So they may admire your intelligence or your insight, and you are awakening them spiritually and emotionally, even though they don't admit it. And also, there may be this kind of dynamic of a guide. So they may see you as someone that they need to guide, or there is a certain kind of relationship where there is no equality, perhaps indeed age difference or position or hierarchy difference between you two. So, but still they are very deeply pulled towards you, and they feel very inspired and challenged by you. And then we have this 7 of Keys card, the ascent, showing this man climbing a mountain. So this is an image of effort and triumph and perseverance. So they see this relationship as something that demands effort. And they see it as worth striving for, but also it demands effort and also courage. So there is a certain need to prove themselves, or perhaps you have some kind of circumstantial challenges to overcome. The mountain that we see can symbolize emotional distance. Perhaps there is physical distance between you two, or some kind of circumstances that you need to overcome, and they fear to be vulnerable and exposed. And they fear this kind of obstacles. There may be real life obstacles between you two. But despite that, they still feel determined. They feel that this connection with you is something very meaningful, but it requires work, and there are real life challenges that you are faced with. And then with the 8th house, which in astrology rules transformation and also, again, deep emotions and also sexuality, it also shows a kind of power exchange. So it feels like almost like a fated relationship with a lot of undertone and a lot of unexpressed feelings. So a lot of intense emotions. You're very magnetic to them, and they are very drawn to you, but at the same time they are unsettled because you are awakening parts of them. They are very raw, perhaps very sexual. Perhaps there is a kind of power struggle between you two. So again, this shows that they feel vulnerable in this connection, and they need to be kind of careful with you. So perhaps the obstacles that you're facing, especially with this mentor card and the mountain card, this may provoke deep fears in them. Like this relationship can be very transformative, but also very destructive. With the 8th house, we can have a kind of destructive energy. So it may be a secret relationship, or just simply that they have secret feelings for you. But this love, they feel, requires a lot of courage and effort. And they love you in silence. And they feel this call towards you. But it's not an easy relationship to have. And you may have real life situations that you need to overcome. So now let's take a look at the 2nd position, which is about their intentions. And we have the Ace of Fire, the Vampire archetype, 2 of Roses or Winged Messengers, and the Moon. So if we take a look at the Ace of Fire, so at the level of intention, fire represents passion, and this is a very creative impulse. So this person's intentions toward you are very intense and magnetic, but they not be stable yet. So they have this pull to take action or to reach out or to reignite something, but they're not always perhaps very clear about it, or they lack clarity. So this fire absolutely shows that they want to move closer, and you ignite something very powerful in them, perhaps excitement and even a sense of purpose, especially with that High Priestess that we saw in the 1st position. But it may be that they may go between attraction and fear. They want closeness, but they hesitate because their emotions grow too strong. So at the core, they want to reconnect, and they feel a certain aliveness through this bond, but they don't know yet perhaps how to sustain it. And then we have the archetype card of the Vampire. So this again shows a kind of energetic imbalances. Perhaps one person gives more than the other, or there is a kind of emotional dependence involved, or some kind of dependence has developed. And so something is draining your life force. This shows that they know that something needs to shift in this connection. So either they cannot just give without receiving, or they cannot just take without giving. But in any case, we have a lot of emotional intensity without real nourishment. So we have this is a kind of codependency card, and even an emotional manipulation. So this shows that perhaps they are aware now of this dynamic and they want to step out, or they are a person who want to be seen in this very positive and beautiful light through you. So they want a quiet recognition through you. So perhaps they are very charming or intense, and in fact they want to nourish themselves from your admiration or your affection for them. So they can be an emotional vampire draining your life force, perhaps playing power games. So this may be a warning message for you. So they may have these bursts of passion and desire for you, but then a certain periods of withdrawal where they don't want to really give as much as they have taken. And then we have this Two of Roses card, Winged Messengers. It shows two birds. So it shows communication and reconciliation. So their intention is to reach out. They want to talk to you. This card may be about some misunderstanding or miscommunication that they want to rectify, or they want to come closer after a period of emotional distance. So they want to bridge the gap between you. So you can expect a message for them, or perhaps a sign or kind of gesture of reconnection. But still, this is a kind of card that with the vampire that we saw, they still may want to reconnect without losing emotional safety. So they are afraid to lose their energy. They are afraid to lose themselves in you. So they may still be guarded. They may still keep their energy at bay so they don't lose clarity. And they may have very sincere steps towards you, but very tentative and very guarded. So it's a kind of push and pull here that we see. And perhaps they fear a confrontation. Perhaps they fear facing the truth of your connection. So their gestures and their intentions may be very, very small in a way. Yet they do want to reconnect. They do want to send you a message or communicate and clear the air. And then with the Moon card, of course, this confirms that their intentions are still shaped by uncertainty and even illusion. So this is not the Moon card from the tarot. This is a Moon card as a astrological body. And so still it shows deep emotions, deep intentions even, but they are guided by their subconscious, maybe even by fears. So this person's heart and mind are not in perfect alignment yet. So they may be, they have a lot of inner healing to do, and thereby they can really drain your energy. So they may be like taking your energy in order to restore their own inner healing and their own inner emotional stability. So they are awakening emotionally, they are opening, but spiritually they are still full of shadows, and they may still have a lot of fantasies about you. And also they may be guided by the past. Maybe they have this may show any kind of issues with mother figures, with women, and you are evoking this in them. So this person may not be very clear or feeling very safe with women in general, or with emotional giving and taking in general. So thus their energy and their intentions may be in fact very much desiring you, but not being very clear and open about it to you. So their intentions are passionate but uncertain, we could say. So they do want to reconnect, they want to act, but they are aware of these unhealthy dynamics between you two with this vampire card. But still you can expect a certain kind of message from them. They intend to communicate, but they need to heal emotionally and reconnect with their own emotional energy and to understand themselves more deeply in order to construct a healthy relationship with you. So now let's take a look at the third position, which is about their next move and the outcome of your situation. And the cards that we have are Four of Fire, Shapeshifter, the Ark of the Covenant, and the First House. So we have the Four of Fire from the As Above, So Below deck. And in this deck, this card is infused with the power of Mars. So we see the Mars energy, the warrior spirit shown in the card. And this is a very bold and assertive, fearless energy, which is always moving forward. So their next move is all about action and courage, and also about expressing their true desires. So Mars is a lot about self-assertion. So it's a kind of energy that urges us to take a stand and go forward. And so again, this person has a lot of fire burning within. There is a lot of desire for you, a lot of passion, but this can of course also be destructive. It depends on how it's directed. And it can also be a very aggressive or impulsive reaction. So this suggests, this card, that their next move will be driven by strong desire and even urgency. So they want to act and they want to move closer. If you have been apart, they want to ignite this connection again. And they may be doing it very, very hastily, with speed. And they want to act with passion and very instinctually, in fact. And these go together with that seven of wands that we had in the first position when they were standing on the top of the mountain. So they want to overcome the challenges, like they want to fight for you. They want to go after what they want. And the Four of Fire is traditionally, of course, Four of Wands, which traditionally is in the Golden Dawn, well, in the Rider-Waite Tarot is the Venus in Aries card. So not the Mars energy, but the Venus in the Rider-Waite tradition. It still kind of has this. So this card has this vibration of four of fire. The number four gives this card a certain kind of a frame, a kind of a structure. And Four of Wands is traditionally linked with romance and even making a move to live together or to go somewhere to spend beautiful moments together. So their next move is about creating something beautiful out of this union, even though they may be driven with strong desire and passion, as Mars is indicating. Well, even Four of Wands, traditionally in the Rider-Waite Tarot, is a Mars energy because it is Venus in Aries, and Aries is ruled by Mars. So the number 4 gives this Mars energy a little bit of a structure. So we can have a very beautiful, romantic, fiery, passionate energy here. So this person, in fact, needs to channel their passion into a very constructive and honest communication and not be impulsive. And then we have this shapeshifter card, that this may show perhaps that their next move might come in a form you don't expect. So they are a person who navigates multiple realities, multiple emotional realities. They may test different ways to approach you. So you may see many different forms of this person. In one way, they are like this. In some other moment, they behave differently. So in some ways, they can be very flexible and they can adjust, but they also can be very difficult to grasp. So perhaps you never know what to expect from them. On one hand, also, they may try to understand you and respond to your rhythm. So they are testing different, like they're having different faces and showing different faces to you. So now you may not be clear about what to expect from them. But as we had with the 4 of Wands, or with the 4 of Fire, it looks like their energy may move into a more constructive and joyful direction. Still, it may be that they can hide behind masks. So perhaps they show strong, but deep down they feel very vulnerable. So this is a person who can be a lot of having a lot of energy of self-protection. So whatever happens, whatever they show to you, deep down they may feel differently. Perhaps they may feel very, very exposed or vulnerable. So this is not a person who is very strong emotionally, even though perhaps sometimes they appear so because they can be very passionate or even aggressive. So try to see behind their mask and see through their shield of self-protection, because they are still learning how to be authentic. So they are still learning how to act from truth and not performing, not have a kind of a show, a kind of a mask to show you. But then we have this beautiful card, the Ark of the Covenant, which speaks of truth and integrity. And it's a sacred promise. So it shows that slowly they are trying to let go of the masks and show more true passion, to be more honest, to be more aligned. So they may reach out to speak to you clearly or to reconcile, or they even want to admit what they've learned. So they are learning about truth and responsibility, and you will be feeling that in their action, even though they perhaps show different faces. But in fact, they are trying to be more responsible and honest and sincere towards you. And they want this joyful creation, as we saw in the 4 of Fire. So they want to create something beautiful with you, even though you may not always be sure what kind of face they are showing to you. So their action aims to restore harmony and to be sincere. So we don't have just desires anymore, but we have this respect and spiritual integrity present. So they want to be honest with you and to make a very sincere gesture towards you. And then with this first house, so this is an astrological card. So the first house represents identity and also new beginnings. So this shows that they will step forward with a new sense of self. So they want to be seen differently by you. So Now with this shapeshifter card, we may say perhaps that they will reveal a shift in themselves. So they want to present themselves as more confident and more authentic and more self-aware. So this is a person who is very passionate and who has strong desire towards you, and who was perhaps in hiding, not clear how to act, or just being too dependent emotionally on you, or fearing to be dependent on you. But now we have this sincerity and authenticity coming out. So they want to show a new face to you. So they want to show that they have changed towards more sincerity and more honesty. So they may still be trying to find the right way to approach you. As this shapeshifter shows, they are still adapting and they are still finding the truest way to express themselves, but they are becoming more grounded in honesty with this Ark of the Covenant. And with the Four of Fire, which is the card of joyful creation, their desire and urgency will become more courageous and more sincere. So it seems this person is gathering more courage to show to you who they really are and to approach you with this sincerity. So they are stepping out of this hesitation and hiding into expression. So we can see, in fact, very honest and truthful intentions here, and desire to reconnect or to overcome challenges, and to be very honestly and sincerely connected with you. And then we have the fourth position, which is about what Spirit wants you to know. So this is your guidance card. And we have three cards. We have the Lovers, Ten of Pentacles, and Three of Swords. So with the Lovers card, the Lovers are about alignment. This is not always about romantic connections. It's about seeking alignment with something that resonates with you. So this is about the decision to speak and act from your highest truth. So the Lovers tells us that if there is any confusion or emotional tension, it may reflect your own emotional confusion and tension, because all relationships that we have reflect the relationship that we have with ourselves. So Lovers is about mirroring, and it's about seeking something higher, some higher truth through the connection that we have. It's about aligning different parts of our soul. And if our soul is not aligned, if we feel scattered and shattered within, this is also how our relationships will look like. So this card is asking you to remember that and to truly follow your alignment, to remember your alignment, also your alignment with this person. Perhaps there is something that this person is mirroring to you. Perhaps your need of being dependent on someone, perhaps your own fear to be left alone, perhaps your need to drain energy, or perhaps your own fear to be left behind or to be used. So the Lovers is asking you to see the other as a mirror for your own reflection, or for any emotional tensions or conflicts that you may carry within yourself. It also says that your choices should come from love and not fear. So this connection that you share with this person may have a deep karmic or soulful depth, but you need to go with this connection and go into it not from fear or guilt or dependency. Remember that Vampire card. But from love and truly connecting and aligning with the other. So you are learning something about yourself through this relationship, as it is always the case. We always learn something, of course, from relationships. But it means that you need to be aligned with your own inner harmony and choose this person and this connection from love and not from any other dark or vampire impulses. So see the truth of your connection, why you are attracted to the person, why you want to be in this relationship. Is it out of guilt? Is it out of fear? Is it that you are charmed by them? You are attracted to them but because of certain qualities they have. So seek your love and your deep alignment with them on the basis of love. Also, we have the Ten of Pentacles, which shows again a deep karmic bond. This can be a very karmic card, Ten of Pentacles. So in any case, it shows that whatever is happening with this person has a very long-term impact on your life, and it may reflect your family dynamic. So this is a card of legacy and continuity. So you can build something really true and very safe and very stable with this person. But on the same hand, you have to be aware that maybe you are repeating some patterns from your family. So what you have learned from your family about love, perhaps you are seeking a certain kind of shelter or safety or security with this person. Ten of Pentacles can also represent institutions, perhaps, especially because we had that mentor card. Perhaps this person reflects a kind of social institution for you, or social desire to prove yourself. Or perhaps you're attracted to their social position, or their social position and their family position is an obstacle that you face in this relationship. Because we had this Ascent card, remember, Seven of Wands in the first position. So there are certain obstacles between you two, perhaps social and family obstacles, perhaps differences in the family background. And this may be the lesson that you are learning. So the guide is telling you love should be the first. You should choose from love and not from all these family, karmic, social obligations. If you can do that, you can build a completely new structure. Something very, very stable and profound is possible with this person, but you have to be aligned with your heart and not with other structures, not with other external circumstantial structures. On the other hand, of course, the Spirit is saying to you that even if there's uncertainty now, you can be sure that you are being guided toward emotional security and abundance. So this is a very promising relationship. So if you are aligned with your truth, this connection will not fade. It will only become more rooted, and it will become more abundant. It will flourish over time. So you are headed towards something very sincere, very deep, and something long-lasting. Just be aligned with your truth. We also had, if you remember, the Four of Fire in their next move, in the outcome. Four of Fire or Four of Wands is the energy of building also a kind of home together, even of moving in. So now your spiritual work, your spirit guides are telling you that you need to anchor your love into something real and grounded. So you need to create something. This is the guidance. And it seems that the other person is ready to do that as well, even though they may need to change their truth their face. They may need to change the way they relate to you. Perhaps you need to overcome some physical, emotional, or circumstantial obstacles. But if you do that, you will ground this love, and because there is love between you two, into something real and very, very steady. And then we have the Three of Swords as the guidance card, which is often seen as a heartbreak, but in fact, this is a card of revelation and clearing. So the Spirit wants you to see clearly what needs to be understood so that your heart can open. The Three of Swords is about emotional honesty. It's about the pain that wakes us up. So you need to transform this sorrow into wisdom. So this relationship has gone through sorrow, maybe even through breakups. Maybe even now you are in a phase of a breakup or not talking, not speaking, but they do want to reconnect. And there is a certain truth that you need to face in order to free the love that is between you two. You have been wounded by this connection. There are wounds to be healed, but the guidance is to use that as a teacher. You are learning boundaries, you are learning discernment, you are learning self-respect. Three of Swords is Saturn in Libra card. This is learning and about relationships. This is learning about give and take. This is learning about true harmony and not blaming the other because the other is only our teacher. Even if they hurt you, they are teaching you something. They are exposing your inner wounds of perhaps fear of abandonment, fear of being not seen, fear of not being recognized, fear of not being socially acceptable, fear of not being able to start a family, whatever. Some inherited fears that we see in the Ten of Pentacles. So you're learning about that. That is the Saturn card. So this is the guidance for you. Learn, don't break, but learn. And give space to love and not all other external circumstances. Love is what will bring you together. So what your heart is learning is discernment, is clarity. So how to love and connect deeply with the other without losing yourself, without becoming a vampire or the other person becoming a vampire. So whatever hurt you, it will not last. You can grow from it into a more whole and peaceful place. So in fact, this relationship is bringing you both together more closely, and it's also awakening your own reality, your own truth, bringing you closer to home within your own heart. And then you will be also able to connect with their heart. And they're also willing and prepared to do the same. So I wish you good luck and enjoy and heal this relationship. And hello to those who chose the group number 3. So here we have the first position of the cards, which reveals their true feelings. And we have One of Air, the archetype of the child orphan, One of Forces, the Akashic field, and the Jupiter card. So One of Air is in fact like Ace of Air, so Ace of Swords, and it represents clarity and awakening. It is like awakening to the truth card. And this is a moment of mental expansion. And so they have realized something about you. So they are finally beginning to see this connection clearly. Perhaps before they have been confused or they have been avoiding things. Now they are gaining insight and they are starting to understand what they feel, even if they can't express it yet. And the element of air speaks to thoughts and communication, and also it's about higher awareness. So what they feel for you is deeply connected to ideas. So they think about you constantly. You're constantly on their mind. They're constantly analyzing what this relationship means, and they're trying to put their emotions into words. But since this is the ace card, this is like number one, it shows the beginning. So they're not only now awakening to how significant this bond truly is. So this is like awakening the truth of their heart. And then we have the child orphan archetype card, and this reveals that they carry a deep emotional wound that in fact shapes their whole inner world. So their heart carries memories of abandonment and isolation, and they feel unprotected. So they are trying to learn to be more independent, and they're trying to conquer the fear of surviving, but they've learned to rely solely on themselves. And they, in some ways, they can be very emotionally independent or also very dependent. They're like they're both sides in them, because they feel like an orphan deep down. So it's very difficult for them to mature emotionally, because they have these deep feelings of abandonment, and they seek inappropriate like surrogate families. So they never had a true family, so now they desperately want a family, even though they may not be ready for it. So they need to belong, they need to be accepted, they want to be accepted for who they are. And this also shows that they feel very real things for you, but they may hold back out of fear of losing control, or out of fear to be rejected. And they can really rationalize their feelings. This is also reflected in that air card. So they don't surrender to the feelings, but they constantly rationalize them. So you are touching a very sensitive part of their heart, that wounded child that craves closeness, but also at the same time he has learned to stay detached in order to survive. So it's a very painful dynamic, in fact, that is happening within them as far as you are concerned. And then we have this one of forces, the Akashic field. And this, again, we have the number one. And this shows, like, again, a new beginning, a new realization about you. And this expands this emotional experience beyond logic. So they feel that your connection is fated, that some unseen energy is guiding you. And they are connecting to this universal consciousness. This is the Akashic field. So they feel like an energetic resonance with you. So they feel you very strongly on a spiritual level, even when you are apart. So, and they also feel that this connection is not random. There is a deep purpose in this connection, and almost like something telepathic that they share with you. Perhaps they're not very aware of it. Maybe they don't understand it, but they can feel it. They cannot deny it. So even when their mind tries to control things, on the soul level, they feel connected to you, and it feels like a destined relationship that awakens some deep realizations in them. And then with the Jupiter card, this is the planet card of Jupiter. In fact, this expansion of awareness is emphasized. Jupiter is all about expansion and faith. and about something greater. So, in fact, in their heart, they are inspired by you, and they feel optimistic by your connection. And you make them want to reach higher. They want to grow. They want to open to life. And also they may see you and feel you as a way, as a kind of protector for this orphan child that longs to be held and to be protected. So you encourage them, and you fill them with trust, and you make them believe in life again, so they feel more confident, more capable. And again, this gives us a kind of sense of destiny, and that's something that can bring meaning to their life. But as we have the child card, the orphan, perhaps this person literally is an orphan. Perhaps they don't have parents anymore. They may see a protector in you, because Jupiter is like a father figure. So you may, in a way, awaken the need to have a protector or a guide in their life to hold them and to guide them as they navigate through their feelings and as they try to come to this new awareness. So, in fact, you are awakening their heart, and you are healing their heart, and they know and they are realizing that this is not just something passing. These emotions are, in fact, part of their spiritual growth, and you give them light and courage, but you also open their deepest wounds of fear and loss, and they seek a kind of protector in you, and they want you to be someone who will soften their fears and open their hearts and give them hope and inspiration again. And then we have the second position, which is about their intentions. And we have the cards, Crown of Air. This is in fact like Queen of Swords, the Judge archetype, the Oracle of Delphi from the Akashic Tarot, and the 11th house from astrology. So the Crown of Air, which is in fact Queen of Swords, represents figure of clarity and independence. And she tells the truth. She's very direct and also very emotionally composed. And the image shows this elder woman holding a book. And this symbolizes accumulated knowledge. So that this person has gone through experience, and now they have the courage to speak truth, even if it's uncomfortable. So they want to be very clear about their thoughts and about their intentions before they act. So they are still analyzing everything. What has been said, what has not been said, what has been felt, what's the right thing to do, what is the truth. So they want to approach this connection very intellectually and also fairly, and they don't want to be lost in illusion. But it also shows this crown. This, in fact, shows the old woman. So this shows a kind of emotional restraint. They may not reveal what they truly feel right now. They want to be in this observing mode. They want to be very careful and perhaps even rigid. And then we have this Judge card, so they can be very judgmental and literally judging the relationship and judging you, still trying to make sense of what this relationship is all about. So they are guided by their mind and not their heart in this moment. And then we have this Judge archetype, which completely mirrors the Crown of Air. This is all about discernment and balance. And this is about being fair. So they can also be extremely critical. So now they have a very almost like business-like attitude towards your connection. They want to come from this position of authority, and they want to do the right thing. So they are judging what is the right thing to do, not just for themselves, but also for you. So again, this shows a lot of judgment, so of reflection of past actions and words. And they also want to be fair towards you and to be very ethical and to act with integrity. And this also means that internally they can be weighing the scales, so deciding whether to do one thing or to do the other thing, how to express themselves, what is truly just. So they try to be mature and balanced, and they are trying to make a very just and clear decision about your connection. And then we have this Oracle of Delphi from Akashic Tarot, and this represents divine guidance. These are like messages from higher wisdom. So this shows a scribe taking notes, again showing that they are trying to understand the situation. So they want to see the bigger picture, and they want to have this divine insight into what is happening between you two. And they have also a spiritual insight. And they understand that this is a kind of a lesson that they are learning, and that this situation between you and this relationship is, as we have already said, almost destined, or that it is something karmic. Perhaps also this shows that they seek advice or guidance from someone. Perhaps they are asking some people, or some wise people, or maybe some oracles, literally, for advice. So now their intention now is to seek answers, to clarify things, to become more aware, to understand, and not to really act. And with the 11th house that we have from the astrology deck, this is the house of hopes and wishes, and also a house of higher vision. So this is also about making true alliances where we can share dreams and share our goals. So in fact, their intention is to rebuild harmony and understanding. They do hope to reconnect in a friendly way, or they are trying to find a mutual purpose. So we have this open window with starlight. This suggests hope and possibilities. So they haven't given up. They are still looking toward the future. They're still imagining how this connection could evolve into something meaningful and supportive. And again, this shows this vibration of destiny, that this is guided by the heavens, by the stars, and they do want an honest communication, and they want to clear all misunderstandings. So in fact, they don't want to close the door, but they want to open them, or at least open a window, and connect in the place where you both share mutual goals and mutual truths and goodwill. So this is their intention, to seek the common ground between you two, even though this requires a lot of thinking, analyzing, judging, demanding whether this is right or not. So they want to be fair, just, and they want, in fact, to meet you on mutual grounds. So their intention is to handle this connection wisely and ethically. So they want to be also fair and just towards you, and they want to reflect. They're, in fact, reflecting deeply. They're thinking a lot. And they are also trying to understand what this is all about and what is right for both of us. And still they have hope. They still hope to move forward with honesty and to share the story with you. Also, to be friendly with you. They want to see you also as a friend, as someone who can accompany them in their vision, in their hopes. So this is a person who has perhaps high desires and hopes for their own future, and they want you to meet them there, to support them in their hopes and in their vision for the future. So they want to align both of your visions so that you can achieve big goals. So this is a person who has big goals and high hopes, and they want you to meet them there. So now let's take a look at the third position, which is about their next move and also the outcome of this situation. And we have Four of Earth, which is in fact Four of Pentacles, Child Magical, Five of Forces, Summer Winter, and Mercury card. So the Four of Earth from As Above, So Below deck is in fact about responsibility and boundaries and protection. So it's about protection of one's energy. So we see this enclosed space and this solidity of stone and earth, and these symbols show security and containment. So their next move will likely be very deliberate and measured, very grounded. So they're not rushing forward. Instead, they are trying to build something. So they want to be sure of what they have to offer, and they want to offer something secure. Also, it shows that they may still be protecting themselves a lot. It's a very protective heart, not closed, but guarded. And they do want to reconnect, but in a way that will feel safe to them. So they may keep a bit of emotional distance at first, and they will be observing whether this connection is stable. And so they are establishing a certain boundary, and they don't want to lose themselves, and they want to hold their space. So they are trying to rebuild the trust step by step. And also this may show a gift. Four of Pentacles is also a card of a gift. So they may offer you some material security or some material gift or offer that will make you secure and safe. And then again we have the Child card. In this time, the Child Magical archetype card, which is all about warmth and innocence. So this is about seeing beautiful things and believing that new options and new beginnings are possible. And also they're trying to escape this pessimism and passivity. So they show this emotional softness. So if the Four of Earth is quite closed and guarded, the Child Magical brings their heart, which is awakening to hope. So they still may maintain hope, and they still hope that somehow magically you can heal and realign again. So they are starting to believe again in this potential in this relationship where they once felt very much lost or afraid. So this is a person who is very afraid, who is extremely guarded, who is afraid to be abandoned, and who may be overprotecting their heart and then hiding behind words and analysis and trying to find guidance. But now they are getting into connection with more optimism. And so they may be very, very careful. They may reach out playfully or show interest in small ways. So they still want to believe that this connection between you two holds magic. And they want to have a certain rebirth with you and the courage to open the heart. So whatever they're doing out of fear. This is a very frightened person, an extremely wounded person who has closed their heart and has hidden behind analysis and behind logical, ethical decisions. But in fact, what they want is to offer security and protection, and also they want to soften and they want to heal this wounded inner child. And perhaps there is also indeed a child involved. Perhaps you share a child, and they want to reconnect with this child as well. So we have a lot of child energy here that is healing, that is slowly shedding these protective walls and logical analysis, and they still have the hope and this dream that somehow magically you can still reconnect and heal this relationship. And then we have this 5 of forces, summer, winter, from the Akashic Tarot. And this card represents seasons of change and renewal. And it has this dual image. These fields in summer and then frozen trees in winter. And this shows the shifts between action and stillness, between warmth and retreat. So perhaps this person has been showing 2 very different sides to you. One which is very warm and very open and extremely loving, and then suddenly they just go away and retreat and they're completely still and silent. So this imbalance may continue. So if they've been distant or cold, now their energy will shift towards summer, toward more openness and communication and warmth. But still, it may happen that comes a situation where they will withdraw and go cold again. This is part of their defense mechanism. This is part of their dual personality, like there are 2 people. And this is sometimes extremely difficult to handle. And the 4 of Pentacles or the 4 of Earth shows their need to be grounded and to be more aligned, to be more within boundaries, not changing so much. So again, this shows that now they are trying to warm up. They are moving from this cold calculation and judging and thinking and analyzing. They are now stepping into light. So they are going into a renewal cycle. So vitality is returning and the ice is melting. But still you need to be aware that there is this constant shift present in them, which is something that you may need to accept if you want to be with this person. They can offer a lot of material security and stability, as we have seen in the 4 of Earth, in the 4 of Pentacles, but emotionally they are still a child who wants to believe in magic and who wants to heal, but they have these very drastic shifts of warmth and coldness. But now, the outcome, now their intentions are to warm up again. So for now, the summer is coming and the ice is melting. Especially because we see this Mercury astrology card, which governs communication and expression and understanding. And so we have a strong indication that there is more conversation coming, They are ready to speak, and also they are ready to listen. And we have these blue tones and glowing symbols in the card, and this suggests clarity and flow. So they will be trying to align their thoughts with their words, and they will try to articulate their feelings. So the communication can be the bridge. So more talk, but also an effort to rebuild a dialogue. Also, spiritually, Mercury is a sign of movement after stagnation. So it is also a planet or an energy who can move between many worlds. So they are able to connect their inner worlds, and they are able to shift their energy very easily. So they are ready to align different sides of themselves and connect them and communicate them. So the outcome of this situation is an honest communication, an honest talk, the melting of the ice, but still the possibility of their withdrawal if the situation arrives. So spiritually, they are learning to balance safety and trust. This is a person who cannot trust so easily, and they are in fact deep down a wounded, frightened child, and they do want to reconnect with you with the energy of hope. They want to share their dreams with you, and they need you to be aligned with their hopes. They have high hopes for themselves. Perhaps they see a bright future for themselves. Perhaps they have goals, and they want you to meet them in that place. And also, they still believe that your connection is magical and that it can magically heal, and they want to express it and talk about it. And through this connection, they are coming to deeper understandings about themselves, and they are healing a very, very deep wound of abandonment. Perhaps, as I said, they are literally an orphan, and they need to restore the trust that they will not be abandoned. But in order to do so, they have to first build this security base, which is indicated in the Four of Pentacles. And this they may be doing through material gestures, offering material security or something concrete, and then hide behind a lot of words and analysis and judgment. And also you may have this cold, warm play where they are extremely warm and open, and then in the other moment they're totally cold and withdrawn, and then they come back to communicate again. So it's a kind of in a way, it is a vicious circle, but there is growth in this circle. There is a possibility that there is this window open with the star shining. If you can meet in friendship, if you can share mutual vision for the future, then there is hope for you. And then let's take a look what your spirit wants you to know in this situation. So this is your guidance position, and we have Wheel of Fortune, Five of Swords, and Knight of Cups. So the Wheel of Fortune is saying that a major shift is taking place and you are being realigned with your destiny. So the Wheel of Fortune is like a cosmic reminder that this is not about being punished, it's about evolution. It's about growing. And this is a symbol that unseen forces are at play, even if you can't see them, even if you don't understand the pattern yet, things are in fact turning in your favor. So perhaps you've learned some deep lessons about communication, about trust, and now your spirit is guiding you to trust again, to know that the cycle is shifting, and whatever doesn't match your vibration is falling away, and what is meant to be yours is going to stay, is going to remain. So the will always asks of us to stay centered, to not lose control, to not go into the flow and lose yourself into the flow of events. And also, it is a sign that you're stepping into a more mature and meaningful phase. In fact, this is a card of Jupiter as well, and we had a Jupiter card already in the first position. So this connection, in fact, is a connection of expansion and growth and expanding your boundaries. So even though we saw that the other person is clinging to security and is afraid to fully open their heart, it is also perhaps you who is afraid to fully open and is now learning through this connection to communicate more openly and to find meaning and to trust life more, to trust this connection. And also perhaps you need to learn to trust this person too. And then of course we have the Five of Swords, where we see these blades in a field of light. So we only see this raw essence of mental energy, because here we don't see any people in the image. This is about mental overdrive. Five of Swords can really be a card of division. This is about the mind that can analyze things to death and just exhaust itself. And it's also about this need to find control. And also, Five of Swords is about feeling defeated, about being the loser. So perhaps you are battling with this feeling, oh, I lost, I'm defeated, and I'm cast out, I'm not accepted anymore, this person doesn't want me. So Spirit is saying to you that don't go into this mental cycle, which may be repeating in your life, as we saw also with the Wheel of Fortune, which can represent cyclical nature as well. So perhaps in relationships, you always go into this cyclical, this cycle of self-criticism, of overthinking, and this keeps you in the same mental loops, in the same frequency of I'm the loser, things don't go my way, I am rejected, I am cast out, I don't belong. So this is something that you are learning through this connection. This is what this connection, this relationship, or this person is reflecting back to you. So to release this mental loop of I am not good enough to be accepted, or I'm doing something wrong, or I'm the loser, I'm the one who is defeated. Relationships are not about winning or losing. They are about aligning. They are about reflection and mirroring each other. So the guidance is to step back from this mental noise and don't go into this loser or defeated mentality. Just release this mental friction and allow yourself to breathe. It may also be that you feel defeated by this person, like they overpowered you. This may be the cycle that you are battling in all your relationships. And with the Wheel of Fortune, this is changing now. You have the opportunity to step out of this wheel. So relationships are not about loss, losing and winning. This is the main message of the Five of Swords. It's not about being humiliated and left out. If these are the feelings that you are experiencing, it is something about you. It's not something about them. This is your inner wound being repeated, and now you have the capacity and the understanding to stop this wheel. Think about being aligned. Think about, do I have the same alignment with this person? Can I share their hopes and dreams? And can they share my hopes and dreams? And can we help each other heal this wounded inner child? This is the reflection that you should be having. So drop this any kind of competition or loser mentality, especially because we have a beautiful card which follows, the Knight of Cups. So the Knight of Cups brings healing and emotional renewal. This is a very soft, beautiful energy after all this turbulence and turmoil. So it is inviting you to approach life in general, not just this person, but life, and most importantly, yourself, with love and compassion and sensitivity. So after this tension and defeat and struggle and fight of the Five of Swords, you are now stepping out of this energy into reconciliation. So this knight is bringing his cup, and it represents an offer of peace, also an apology, or perhaps just a gesture of kindness that will mend your relationship. So you have been trying to mend or fix this relationship mentally, with words, with intellect, with judging. But this is not what will truly allow the relationship to heal. What helps are gestures of kindness, gestures of love, gestures of compassion. So you are guided to speak gently and to trust that this emotional opening will help this healing, this process of healing. And also the guidance from the Spirit is to be emphatic, offer empathy, and offer your emotions, drop the weapons, and just move from the place of love. So find love in your heart for this person or for this situation, because you still have dreams and hopes to share. You still have a lot to heal. They have a lot to heal. Now, this reading was about their intentions and their feelings, and we saw that their feelings are deeply wounded. They are an orphan, but they do want to heal and they do want to understand. And they are hiding behind this facade of words and intellectuality, but still they are an idealist and they want to share their ideals with you. So if you can meet them with compassion and offer this cup of love, they will also do the same. So in general, this reading points to to the energy of reconciliation. So you will reconcile, you will drop the weapons, and you will offer this cup of love to each other. So I hope this reading resonated. Allow yourself to step out of this circle of fight, struggle, and mostly defeat, humiliation, and the feeling of being left out. Because in fact, you're not. You're not left out. You are just clashing with the wounds of the other person, who also feels abandoned and also fears loss and defeat. So together you can find this path and you can have a very beautiful future together, a very friendly future with shared mutual goals and dreams. So I wish you good luck and see you in some next reading.